All y'all boomers out there ever think we'd have another space race? Another space race? Can you believe it? We're finally doing it again. This time we just got normal folks. Well, normal, really successful folks that are making their way into the blue jumpsuits to head to outer space. We have another space race between Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, really successful entrepreneurs in the digital world. Jeff Bezos lost the race. Richard Branson is going to fly into space 9 days before him on their both made rockets they made up. How rad is that? How cool of a time are we in? I think it's pretty darn cool. Well, what's going on? How are we going to make money here? They both have stocks, of course. Richard Branson is definitely known for his flighty stuff. Right? Cosmic Girl, y'all ever heard of that? Okay. He's got one called SPCE, is a ticker on that. It is trading at 223 times revenue for next year of a multiple, which is on paper the worst stock to buy. But guess what? It's also the one that does the best. Think about that. You don't believe me? I have a chart down in the comments. I don't know who made this. This was given to me. Whoever made it, if you're out there, thank you so much for making it. It's basically all the space rocket tickers out there that we're all involved with that are doing well with the potential in more than others, right? But just look at this. Pay attention to it. We want to fly. Why? Because all these are going up right now. First one I want to bring up is VACQ. This is Rocket Labs. This one's super sweet. There's tons of tickers, but I'm picking some ones to talk about specifically. This one's sitting at $11.34. It's not sitting at the floor. People want it. And you've had super heavy day today. You've had 3.825 million shares traded. Today alone, that is huge. People are getting excited about space again, man. Man, I remember when I was a kid, no one was wearing space stuff because it was for the dorks, right? But now dorky's cool and all the cool kids are wearing NASA shirts. Can anyone figure that out for me? Regardless, this one's sitting at $11.34. There's still a floor of around $10. This one could moon back up to where it was. Where was it? It was at $14 back at the end of February, beginning of March. Hit 14 bucks. Pretty cool. Watch this one. You can play this one with warrants or options or just be safe and get the comments. I think we're going to get a decent surf at least for the next 2 weeks because this isn't happening for another 2 weeks. Or July 11th is when this is happening, right? Richard Branson is flying July 11th. You can either play it till after that. Maybe we'll get even more hype because Bezos is going to go. Remember, Jeff Bezos, Mr. Amazon himself, is going 9 days after Richard Branson. So this hype train of the space stuff and rocket stuff could last for a month. You know, because the second after Branson, we got Bezos going up 9 days later. We might get a dip right after Richard Branson goes, but Bezos going up 9 days later. I can see all these rocket plays going up to at least their all-time highs again. Why not? They're all super cool. Some of my favorite plays to look at, of course, the cheaper ones. It's less risk. Why take the risk when I don't have to? There's some really cool plays here that are still pretty much floored out, protected. This one here, SFTW. Black Sky. This one for exactly what they do, I'm kind of sketched at because this is kind of like the Big Brother space satellite AI play. So what do? They have like the smallest satellites that pull in the most amount of data per square inch, right? That means a lot when you're launching stuff in outer space. They don't actually launch stuff, so you don't have that risk, right? If something blows up, they can just point at the dude who shot their satellite up, right? I don't know, so you have that, so you don't have that mitigated risk even fiscally. You didn't have to really pay for the way to get it up there. You just paid a supplemented company to do it, right? Do what you're good at. Maybe you could look at it that way. I like it for that. It's also got a lot of good stuff as far as like ecosystems and farming goes, though. That's one of the big reasons I was interested at the beginning, because this is big data. Basically, it goes on top of the world, in the universe up there, and it calculates everything. It's like counting people, cars, masses, everything, and it sending and selling data to things like governments, you know, which can go both ways. But it's also selling stuff to companies that want it. Like if you really wanted that info, I'm sure you could pay someone to get it. It's crazy, crazy stuff. It's regardless, total space play. They have their own satellite. It's super cool. They're developed I think in Europe or something like that, but it's super neat play. Osprey Technology, Black Sky, SFTW is a ticker on that one for the commons. You can, again, get warrants on those. You can get more leverage with the warrants. You can also get more leverage if you want to grab the options. You can do option calls on this. Remember, this is literally sitting at the floor of $10. This thing actually had a high, though. This is another reason I love it. It's at a high of 15. So the last one we were talking about, a high of 14, is already sitting at 11 something. This one's still at 10 and went all the way to 15. So on paper, just looking at the chart alone, this one looks all right. All right. This one 2 weeks ago also got a price target from some bank or someone that came out. It was legit, but they had a $20 price target. We don't know how they calculated it. They usually go really in depth calculating it compared to everything else. And even if we get halfway there, that's $10 to $15, which is the last all-time high. Right? Even if we get halfway there, or even up to 12, you're still 20% on your money plus. My actual favorite play for what they do is actually GNPK ticker. This company's called Redwire. Still a SPAC. This is almost sitting at the floor, $10.50, so your risk is almost zero. Heavy day volume, though, of only 500,000. Okay? Interesting enough, the Black Sky had 2.5 million volume today. Super heavy compared, it's even looking like the one we were talking about up there, Rocket Labs, right? But look at little GNPK. It's not that cool, though. So it is kind of missing that cool factor. I like, GNPK, a little Black Sky, I'll take both. But GNPK is more of a guts play, more picks and shovel play. Anything for a rocket, like you need the shield to go around it, a certain connector to connect your satellite, a random thruster custom made. What do they have, like solar panels that like pull out, like awnings to get power from the sun. If your satellite needs energy in space, it can handle that. It's a really cool, really solid, lots of revenue coming in, lots of government contracts play. GNPK is my personal favorite as far as setting it and forgetting it. If you've got a grandpa account like I got a separate account, I just dump stuff in and forget about it for a rainy day or a couple of years down the line, whatever. Total confidence in Redwire. That thing is never going to go away, right? Biggest in the space. Grab that one. But then here's the other play. Non-LOI SPACs. This might be my specialty, something I'm very passionate about. I love this. It's the mystery part about it. These are SPACs that are targeting space stuff. Okay, so they haven't even announced a space company they're with. Here's the deal: you can even get them even cheaper than all the rest, because they don't even have an LOI, a letter of intent, or a rumor. The first one I'm going to talk about is PIPP, Pine something, Pine Acquisition, PIPP ticker for me. They had a lot of political ties for the Democratic Party, which is probably going to come in handy because they can probably promise people deals. That's great. Next ticker is NVSA. You heard of that? Probably not. Also a non-LOI, but possible target is going to be space, government targets. You can get the warrants on these two for like $1.10 around there. Super duper cheap. These could end up doing nothing, right? But if these can kind of follow the space thing or pay attention to what's going on, it'd be smart for them to announce their target right now, because they're paying attention to this. They're seeing all the space stocks going up. So it'd be really smart to announce an LOI real soon within the next couple of weeks. Wouldn't it be cool if you were in it before it 2x'd? When any of these space stocks get an LOI, it almost always 2x's. It goes from $1-ish to $2-ish. They're at $1.10-ish now. Get it to $2.20, double your money, boo-hoo. That sucks, right? Here's the new Vista Cap, which is the NVSA ticker. Not PIP, but NVSA. Said on their homepage here, transformational technologies for the aerospace and defense sector. We are concentrating on business operating within space and communications and defense, advanced air mobility, transportation, and logistics industries. At this time, we have not identified a specific target. There you go. So chances are they're going to get something that kind of flies. I think anything that's flying up high is probably going to do well. They're probably, they could go EVTOL. Those are still getting on the brink, though, of starting to move, because even Virgin Galactic is definitely involved in the EVTOLs. So all it's gonna take is him to, what if he shows up? Like, what if he shows up to this thing to take the rocket off? What if he shows up in the Virgin Galactic eVTOL, lands at the space station, and then goes up in the rocket? That's all eVTOLs need for a catalyst, something like that. And Richard Branson, I think, is definitely the dude to do it. Are you already any of these plays? Any other space non-LOIs I missed? Come look at the list. This is down on my website if you want it. If you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed on this, please do it. Definitely helps out the channel. If you want, we have a group. You can join it. Costs money, but I don't know one person that's in there that didn't make it back probably the first month. Okay? Join it if you're real serious about flipping them bills. Join us.